What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another Valid Performance video. As always, it's your host, AA Round. Today we have a special treat for you guys. Today we are going to be bringing in my friend Jason's 10th Gen SI. We're going to take a good look over the whole thing. He was the one that raced the IFO just last week. This is that clip from then. As you guys can see in that video, Jay had a lot of wheel hop when he left at the line. The car, whenever and anytime he lets go of the clutch, that thing hops like a 90 Civic with no traction bar. That thing gets crazy and rowdy, dash jumping everywhere. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring it in. We're going to pretty much inspect his whole front end, the tie rods, inners, outers, ball joints, struts, top hats. We're going to look for any cracked bushings, anything worn. This is a very low mileage 10th Gen SI still. This is only at about 33,000 miles, I believe. So in reality, we would think everything's held up, but we really know these cars aren't really built for drag racing. They're really built for, you know, kind of just a sporty little fun daily. So we're going to bring it in now. We're going to check over the whole front end and show you guys anything that we might find. There is a little bit of a clunk he's hearing when backing out of the driveway, but I don't think it's anything major. I heard it once on the way here, so let's get it up in the air and figure out what's going on. Alrighty, here we have the car all jacked up. We have jack stands underneath it. We're going to check for play in the front end. So pretty much what we want to do when we're looking for play in our inner and outer tie rods is you want to grab the tire from the outside and literally just give it a little bit of a wiggle. That right there is just from the steering wheel being locked, and somebody that does this every day would know that. But absolutely zero play there in both inner and outer tie rod on this side. We're going to grab a pry bar, put it underneath the tire, and pull up on it to try to see if we have any play in that ball joint. Regardless, we have the wheel locked, so we're going to pull the wheel off anyways and take a very good look at everything else. But I just want to do this while the wheel is still on because it makes it easier. Grab your pry bar, put it underneath like so, and then just give it a nice pull upward. And this tight end is really solid. No play there. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, show you guys that now. Alright, so as we just showed both of you guys, there's absolutely no play in any of the tie rods or any of the ball joints on this car. So next we're going to open up the hood and we're going to check our top mount on our struts, which is this right here. Pretty much what this is what holds your strut all together. There's a bushing in here that can wear out, crack, or fray and go bad, causing a clunk as well. All we're going to do to check that is we're going to pull off our cap right here. Pow, just pulls right off. Get a flathead in between the nut and the strut. And go back and forth. You guys see it moves just a little bit, but still pretty strong. Pretty strong bushing there still. So we know it's not in the top hat on this side. We're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Now here at the other side, same thing. You see that very minor movement, which tells us that this bushing is still as strong as new. That is absolutely pretty much no play on there. I'm loving this Cusco bar, by the way. Great choice. Okay, so as you guys seen, everything's checked out. One thing I like to do is now that we have the wheel off, I want to inspect everything, and I mean everything. So we're going to take a look at brake lines, brake pads. If you guys are unaware, this is your brake caliper, and this holds your brake pads. And this right here shows your amount of life left. As you can see, these are pretty much like brand new. I'm sure he did just do these recently because it even has the sticker on it. Clean as probably the day he put it on. Next we're just going to inspect the brake hoses. We're going to look for any deteriorated cracks, any signs of abnormal wear or tear. We're going to grab our tie rods and we're going to give it a nice pull and see if there's any play in those. Honestly, these, I feel like his clunk is going to end up being in this end link right here. It just feels weak, flimsy, and like almost like I could pull it right off of the socket. So I'll show you guys a way of how we could check these when the car is back on the ground and there's weight on it. Another thing we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to grab our axle right by where the boot is, and we're gonna go up and down. Look for up and down play. There's always gonna be a little bit of in and out play like so. That's normal. That's because when the wheel turns, it needs just that little bit of space to move. That's normal, so don't worry if you hear a clunk when you're going in and out. What you want to do is go up and down. And actually, I think we're gonna end up having a bad half shaft in this, or half shaft bearing. So look in there deeper. Let me go ahead and grab a flashlight so I can show you guys these bushings and what I'm talking about a little more. Alright, so I got the flashlight and I jumped on this other side just to check, to compare, and sure enough, this one does not have the same amount of play in the axle as the other side did. We're gonna go ahead and grab it. As you can see, it has that in and out like I told you guys earlier, but that up and down, absolutely sturdy, exactly how it should be. Shouldn't make any noise. It's convenient enough that I actually did hear that clunk in the right front when driving here, and it was when I put it in second, not going over any bumps or anything. Let me go back to the other side, show you guys the other side real quick, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. You come in here, you got that in and out, right? But this is no good. You hear that clunk? Let's see if I can get in here a little better. And that is probably what's going to end up being his noise. It feels worn. And what that is right there, that's going to be your half shaft that's attached to the motor. That pretty much what they do there is they make both axles equal to help with the torque steer, but they'll add in that half shaft so that it, if you guys remember on the older single cams, it has an extremely long axle. Pretty much this newer design is to make both axles in equal length, just so that it'll help with the torque steer a lot on these cars, and it definitely does. But then you deal with negative things like that where it will like launching these cars will take a beating on your half shaft bearing. And like I said, this is far from a stock SI. This is a full bolt-on SI with a upgraded turbo, upgraded intake, upgraded exhaust, a lot of nice goodies on this. He also has aftermarket wheels with a very sticky tire. These are NT05s. So that's what really gives this car a very aggressive launch. It's this car is tuned for 28 psi, I believe. So when this thing leaves, it wants to leave. Unfortunately, that's where you start running into those issues where you deal with the wheel hop. These cars don't have the aftermarket performance things that these older Civics have. I mean, I'm sure in the next couple years they will, but for now they don't. So everything's stock still. All the bushings in the control arm look good. Everything else looks like the day it came from the dealership. I'm definitely going to recommend that he's changed those end links though anyways, and probably start putting the wheels back on and finishing this one up. Okay, so we currently have the car back on the ground. We got the wheels back on. I have the torque wrench on. I'm about to torque them. Just wanted to remind you guys to not forget, if you guys have, even if you have OEM wheels, whether you have OEM, aftermarket, especially if you have aftermarket though, make sure you guys are torquing your wheels to manufacturer spec. On this Honda, they recommend you torque these to 80 because it has the lighter lug nuts and the aftermarket wheels. I'm going 85 just to keep it that little bit more tight. And we'll finish this one up and we'll pull it out. As you guys saw, what ended up being the issue and what's going to end up being his clunk on this is going to be a half shaft. You're going to have to replace that half shaft. I'm not sure if they sell bearings for it and you could just press them out and press a new one in. He's going to have to do a little more research on that. I'm not 100% sure. Honestly, these cars are still pretty new to me. I've worked on a few, but not really done my research on them, as I don't work on that many. I mostly work on the older stuff. I hope this video brought a lot of insight to you guys and is helpful at all to you guys, so maybe ever want to spend the weekend and check over your front end. Kind of whether you have a 10th gen, 9th gen, 8th gen, it's all kind of the same thing. All the parts are the same. They just kind of change the name over the years. The designs change a little bit here and there. But other than that, if you have any kind of Civic, in reality, you could do this full inspection, do the same thing, side to side play for the tie rods, up and down play for the ball joints. Same thing with the struts if you have McPherson struts with top hats. I'm going to go ahead and leave Jason's Instagram in the description or put it somewhere in this video if you guys want to see more on this car. See all his pulls, see all the new stuff that he does to it. I'm going to go ahead and leave his Instagram. Make sure you guys head over to his page and show him some love and thank him for letting us use his car to show you guys how to check over your front end. We'll catch y'all at the next one.